Do you not realize who I am? I'm the king of the internet.
Well, good morning, kids. Welcome to Wednesday, November 29th. We are just waking up, or at least trying to. Oh my God. Yeah, this is just one of those mornings where I just did not want to get up. Holy cow. Maybe it's the cold weather, maybe it's the lack of daylight all of a sudden. I don't know what it is, but I just want to sleep. Anyway, can't do that. We got to roll. And we are in Gaston, Indiana, at a lovely rest area. One of the newer, I don't know how new, but newer rest areas. One of several, actually, that the state of Indiana is in the midst of constructing or just completed or recently completed. So I know I give Indiana a lot of grief, but I'm joking around. I kid around a lot. I give them a lot of credit for what they've done with the rest areas. And actually, I even give them a lot of credit for what they're doing on I-65. As much of a nightmare highway as that has been for such a long time, especially between Indy and Chicago. They are working extensively on expanding and renewing that and putting in new rest areas and what. So kudos to you, Indiana, for doing all of that. It is very, very sorely needed and much appreciated. So anyway, that out of the way, we need to get our ass in gear. We have a store to go to, and I could have easily made it to said store last night. I actually shut down with about 3 hours left on my clock, which is highly, highly unusual for me. Usually I run my full clock pretty much every day. But it just happened to be the way the dispatch plan worked out, and that's okay. That's part of trucking, right? That's how it works. I couldn't deliver this. I couldn't get there before 8 p.m., and that's when they close. Actually, they close later than that, but they stopped taking deliveries after 8. So since I couldn't get there by then, I decided that I would stop here at this rest area, which is about an hour out, instead of doing what I normally do and just going ahead and going to the store and parking in their parking lot. And of course, the reason I didn't do that is because, like I always do, I took a look at it on the satellite, and it looks to be an older store. It's not their normal Menards footprint, the way they usually lay their store structure, the building and the parking lot situation. It's not the way they normally do it, so I'm assuming it's just an older store, and the lot was tiny. And I was looking at this lot thinking, okay, yeah, there's no way I could get this truck in there. Well, I could get it in there, but what I was thinking is once I got it in there, I would never be able to get out in the morning once people started parking in there. There would be no way to get the hell out of there. So rather than create a logistical nightmare for myself and for others in trying to get this truck out of that parking lot in the morning, I thought, nah, it'd be more prudent just to stop here. So that's what I did, and it's all good. So we're a little under an hour away from the store, and we are obviously rolling now. We're going to get there as quick as we can, and we will take it from there. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Ooh, that doesn't look good. That boy is smoking. I hope that isn't his brakes. Anyhow, let's get our ass back onto I-69 in this blinding morning sun. And yeah, more in a bit. All right, we are at our Menards store, and as I suspected, it is an older store, different footprint, so a lot tighter than the usual, but that's all right. We will make it work. Just Got to make sure I don't hit this guy coming on the forklift. Make sure he sees me. Yep. Oh yeah, this is a tight one.
Turn right, then take the first right.
We'll figure it out. So they want us on 6 today. All right. Well, I can just pull right on into their little overhang here, can't I? That works out just fine.
Take the first right.
Except I'm going to really have to do this one a little different today.
Turn right on 147th Street, then take the first right.
So they want us at door 6. That's unusual. So, let me go open our doors. All right. Now, I was just recently told in my comments that I don't know how to back up a truck, so there we go. I suck at backing up. So, number one, I never claimed to be the world's greatest backer, but hey, you know, what are you going to do? The most important thing is actually 2 things. The only 2 things that matter in backing for all of you new drivers. Number one is that you eventually get on the door without taking too terribly long. And too terribly long is subjective. And the other thing is that you never hit anything. That's really it. It's that simple. Just get on the door and don't hit anything. Style points are for idiots. So you're going to encounter, you new drivers again I'm addressing, you are going to encounter a lot of really good people in this industry. There's a lot of very good, highly skilled drivers that are very cool people. And they will actually go out of their way to help you if you run into a jam. I've seen it many, many times. I've done it many, many times. You will also, unfortunately, encounter what they call super truckers. And these are guys that have no other thing going on in their life other than their truck. It's all they do, it's all they know how to do. And they really don't have much else. So what they spend their time doing is criticizing everybody else about how bad of a driver they are, because it somehow, in their little tiny brain, makes them feel superior in a way. It's human psychology at work, right? And it's usually the dumbest people that have the loudest mouths, right? So, my advice to you new drivers, tune that shit out. Don't listen to it. Forgive their ignorance. Forgive their shortcomings. Forgive the fact that they're being assholes. And just move on with your life. Don't pay them any mind. Don't pay them any attention. Don't feed the wolf, as they say. And you go and do your thing, go about your business and improve your skills. And listen to the drivers that actually want to talk and maybe have something good to say, maybe have some good advice, and you can draw off of their experience, because again, there's a lot of really good drivers out here that know what the hell they're talking about, and they've been doing this for a long time, and there are a lot of things they can teach you if you open your ears and invite that. Ask them. Ask an experienced driver, hey, could you help me? If it was you, what would you do in this situation? That type of thing. And you'd be amazed how happy good people are to help you. So, anyhow, that's my little soapbox on that for today. And we are just about, there we are, we're on the door. God, go figure. I backed up onto a door in a matter of a minute or two, and didn't hit anything. I'm totally straight. Yeah, I suck at backing. Absolutely. I'm terrible.
Join the highway.
Well, we had to make a little unscheduled pit stop on our way to Terre Haute, Indiana, which is, by the way, where we're going. I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not, but we are heading to Terre Haute, Indiana, where there is another Menards distribution center there. We've been there only once before, It's kind of a smaller DC, and I am going to drop what is now my empty trailer there. Trailer was emptied out at the store there in Carmel, Indiana. And so we're going to bring this empty over to Terre Haute, and then we're going to grab a loaded trailer from there, which I'm assuming anytime you get a loaded trailer from a smaller distribution center that's going back to a much larger distribution center like Holiday City, Ohio, which is where it's going, usually that's return items. So stuff that was either returned to the store or returned under warranty, something wrong with it, whatever. So I'm going to guess that's probably what the load is, but doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's Menards stuff that has to go to Menards, one location to another, and we're happy to do it. So I had to stop here unplanned on I-70 because my front radar in the truck was starting to go haywire. That is a known issue in Freightliners, and I have had it before. When I was at Schneider, one of my trucks had a sensor that was constantly screwing up, and when it does, it really kind of messes you up because there's a lot of stuff in the truck that's integrated with that sensor. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can drive the truck without it, but it means you're driving with your foot. You don't have cruise control. Which, no biggie. Obviously it can be done. It's just when you put as many miles on the road as you do when you drive a truck, it's nice to have cruise control, and especially adaptive cruise control. It's nice to have it. So the other annoying thing is that when that sensor fails and it starts getting misreadings, before when it did that, it just completely stopped working, and that was the end of the story. But this truck, all of a sudden, it would give me these alerts that I was too close to something, and there would be nothing in front of me. And the sensor, the dash display, was showing that I would be 0 feet and 0 seconds away from something in front of me, but it would have the icon in the screen that showed like you're right up on the back end of something. But it would show 0 feet, 0 seconds, and then it would display the speed that I was driving as the speed they were driving. It's almost like it was looking at a mirror at its own reflection or something. Really weird. And it would just intermittently start doing that, right? So I would just, immediately, it would want to hit the brakes and hit the Jake brakes and all of this stuff because it thought something was in front of the nose. So of course I'd cancel the cruise immediately and, just drive with my foot, and then watch the display as it beeped at me that I was too close to something that didn't exist over and over and over and over again. So that gets rather old. And then it would just go away and start working again. So I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a technician by any long stretch of the imagination, but I am mechanically inclined. I have worked on cars quite a bit in my life, along with electronics. I was trained in electronics in the Navy, and so I do know a little something. I just don't know specifically, how to work on these trucks, right? So anyway, I know where the sensor is. I knew all of its componentry just because I watched the technicians before when they were working on it in my truck at Schneider. And one of the things that I know is that sensor, that radar sensor, it's in the very front of the grill, down low, and it's covered with a plastic shield to protect it against weather. And so it's like a flat, rectangular shaped, flat black thing. It's about 1 centimeter thick, and it's just this rectangular sensor pad. And the cable, the wiring that connects to that pad, comes into it on the side. So it's like a side junction with, typical automotive wiring. When they connect something with wires, they always use, little plastic clips, these plug clips that, the tab clips into the socket. And that is supposed to be weather shielded because, of course, it's on the front nose of a truck. that's spending its entire lifetime on a highway in all sorts of inclement weather, you know, the last thing you want to do is mix moisture with electronics, right? So you got to keep that dry, otherwise, you know, it'll short out when it's wet, and then even when it dries, it starts corroding, and then it'll eventually crap out because it's corroding. So I just had it start malfunctioning again, and so I decided, you know what, I need to tear that thing apart. So I just stopped at that rest area, and of course I carry tools with me, lots of tools, and so I went out there and just started taking off that cover. Got the cover off, and I noticed that the cable connection into that pad, it has a little rubber boot that is supposed to slide over that connection, which personally I think that's woefully insufficient, Freightliner. Not that Freightliner's listening to what I say, but you know, again, it's on the front end of a truck. You need to do better than that. That needs to be sealed. That needs to be absolutely weather sealed completely, like sticky shit. That has to be closed, not just a little rubber boot that goes over it. It's absolutely silly. But anyway, that little rubber boot had been slid completely off the plug, and I'm not sure or not if that plug was loose, but I gave it a good push just to make sure it was firmly seated inside of its socket on the pads there. So I hope that did the trick. I'm driving now. I have not seen it freak out once. I'm on cruise now. It seems to be doing fine. So let's hope that was it. But it just amazes me. I've got exactly 17,300 miles on this brand new truck. And silly shit like that. You know, it's like whoever put the truck together, you know, they didn't do that one little extra step. Like, make sure the damn thing is plugged in solid, and make sure that weather protecting boot is pulled over the connection. How hard is it? Oh my God. You know, sometimes I wonder, people like that do stuff like that, you know, they go home at the end of the day, they don't care. You know, they go home, that's fine. No problem. I just half-assed it. I just don't understand. Anyway, it's probably a good thing I don't understand. Actually, I wish I didn't care, because then I'd probably live longer. But that's the way it goes. So we seem to be fixed. Let's keep our fingers crossed, and you know, maybe I'll have to bill MNS1 Express, you know, an hour labor at technician rate. Yeah, let's see what happens. Well, I won't hold my breath there. But yeah, I fixed your truck, guys. All right. Hopefully Vito isn't pissed at me because I took tools out and started monkeying with the truck. So maybe I should just shut my mouth and just cut my losses right there. So anyhow, more later. All right, we are rapidly approaching our stopover here in Terre Haute, Indiana, at the Menards Distribution Center in Terre Haute. And we just need to make a right turn, and there it is off in the distance, all those brown buildings we're about to go visit. That's all Menards. And I do remember there are some railroad tracks up here, so a little PSA for any other drivers who've never been here. And if you approach here on Haythorne Avenue, which most of the GPSs will tell you to do, you better have your landing gear cranked all the way up. None of this lazy half-assed halfway up bullshit when you come here, because these tracks, you will get stuck by your gear. I've seen it. Last time I was here, guy got stuck by his landing gear, made a rather abrupt stop. Yeah, don't be that guy. So, and then take it nice and slow, especially if you got some weight in the trailer. But that should go without saying, but you never know. People do all sorts of stupid shit. So let's see if we can get our butts in here. Don't want to cut anybody off. That would be bad. But yeah, we're about at the gate anyway, so we'll catch up later. All right, they want the empty van trailers back here somewhere. So let's find it a good home. looks alright. Yeah, why not? Let's just do that one. It's as good as any other. And we can see how terrible a backing I do. I love it. Alright, let's see here. Seatbelt off. Little tight. Nope. That's a little tight. There, Schneider. Okay. It's a shoehorn. Yeah, every now and then I'll purposely pick a really tight spot like this one for the expressed purpose of brushing up on my skills. I've learned in life never shy away from stuff that's hard. Actually approach it, just challenge yourself. And that's how you get better at stuff. So if you really want to suck at backing up the truck like I do, just do that. Purposely pick a little bit of a tougher spot. Not that this is a hard spot or anything, but it's a lot tighter than a lot of the other ones that are open. And why always go for easy, right? So, but there we go. Nothing hit. Not a crazy, stupid, crazy amount of time. And we're safely in and done.
Oh, the trucks, the trucks, the trucks. They are all parked all the way across the land, and the king is none too happy about it. Do you not realize who I am? I'm the king of the internet. I command thee, move out of my way.